Today, in this 8th installment of Buildings of Unknown Origin, we'll explore lost cities of America and beyond as we take a photographic deep dive into structures that defy explanation. Some of which were buried, some burned, and some hidden in plain sight. From the war-torn rubble of 19th century Dublin, Ireland, to the accidental fires that coincidentally swept through American cities at the same time, were these truly random disasters or deliberate acts of historical cleansing? We'll compare the eerie similarities between the Great Fire of Baltimore in 1904 and the Allied firebombing of Dresden, Germany in World War II. Different cities, different eras, different catastrophes, but nearly identical aftermaths. But first, what if everything you've been told about American history, about the pioneers, the settlers, and the rise of modern cities was only part of the truth? Perhaps the early pioneers braved the Oregon Trail not to claim new land, but to reclaim part of the old world. In the mid-1800s, settlers, pioneers, and prospectors braved the Oregon Trail in search of new land and opportunity. However, what if they weren't claiming land for the first time, but rather reclaiming it? What if they weren't building a new foundation, but inheriting the remnants of forgotten cities? Cities abandoned by a lost civilization, erased from history. Let's explore two major cities at the end of the Oregon Trail, Portland and Seattle. Portland, Oregon in 1860 had a population of under 3,000 people. Yet when we examine buildings from this location, from this time period, you'll notice intricate, ornate structures that seem to be too advanced for a town that had just emerged from the frontier. Is it possible that this architecture was already there and could have served as the inspiration for people to continue down the Oregon Trail? And then there's Seattle, Washington, the Emerald City, a city built upon layers of secrets and a mysterious past. This is evident when we examine images of the Denny Hill region. Historians tell us Denny Hill was once a towering peak, which was inexplicably flattened. The entire region was razed, the ground was reshaped. Could it be that Seattle's origins are far older than we're told? Is this evidence of a catastrophic mud flood, or perhaps a deliberate act of erasure? One thing is for certain, the buried city of Seattle is more than just a myth. Early photographs of this area show massive excavation, and even today, there are reports of strange underground tunnels, structures hidden beneath the surface. Quite possibly, remnants of a lost civilization that once called this region home. On June 6, 1889, a fire ravaged the city of Seattle. The official narrative tells us this fire was started when a bucket of glue overturned in a woodworking shop on Seattle's Front Street. By sunset, the heart of the city was in ash and smoke. When the flames died, 25 city blocks were gone, but no lives officially lost. Was this fire nothing more than a careless accident, or a way to destroy, rewrite, and reset history? Next, we'll travel over 3,000 miles across the USA, from Portland, Oregon to Portland, Maine. This city was founded in 1632, and in 1866, many of its old world buildings were destroyed by a mysterious fire. 19th century, Dublin, Ireland, a city of majestic, neoclassical buildings shrouded in ancient glory. Perched on the edge of the Atlantic, it stood as a gateway between the old world and the new. But as the 20th century dawned, Dublin was scarred by fire and war. In 1916, a rebellion known as the Easter Rising tore through the city. Rebel forces, under the banner of Sinn Féin, seized buildings of immense architectural and historical significance. The General Post Office, a monument of neoclassical symmetry, became both a symbol of defiance and the epicenter of destruction. Was this truly war, or the sanctioned demolition of a legacy no longer welcome in the modern age? Then came the Civil War of 1922. Dublin once again became a battleground. Fires consumed government buildings, archives, libraries, and with them, centuries of history lost forever. Were these magnificent structures merely casualties of war, or were they part of the systematic erasure of something deeper? Comment below. Dresden, Germany, a city once known for its cultural beauty and architectural splendor, suffered immense scars of devastation during World War II. The history books tell us, in 1945, Allied forces dropped over 4,000 tons of explosives on Dresden, leveling much of its historic center. But what you're looking at here is not Dresden, Germany. It's Baltimore, Maryland, over 40 years earlier, after the Great Fire of 1904. Much like Dresden, Baltimore was home of intricate stone buildings with classical, Greco-Roman aesthetics and old-world charm. Historians tell us that it was founded in 1729, but when we look closer, some curious inconsistencies begin to emerge. The population of Baltimore in the early 1830s was approximately 60,000. Yet despite this modest number, the city was home to buildings that defy logic when factoring in the limited technology and workforce available at the time. Then in the early 19th century, something strange happened. Like many other cities across North America, a catastrophic fire known as the Great Fire of 1904 swept through Baltimore, leaving behind an apocalyptic landscape that would change its skyline forever. The official narrative tells us it was a simple fire, but when examining the evidence, you'll notice piles of rubble, which resemble the aftermath of a bombed-out, war-torn city more than that of a typical turn-of-the-century fire. Could we be looking at the remnants of a forgotten age, one that stretches back further than the official narrative suggests? Finally, we'll explore random buildings of unknown origin through a photographic journey consisting of images from the 1860s through 1880s.